Marianne from Coastal Love and Decor. So today we're going to make a beach sign. This is the mold I'm using. Okay, so first off, I already mixed up my resin, but I need to mix up some sand. So I'm going to use this sand filler today. And I'm going to divide my resin up here. The small cup, I'm going to just do a little bit of white. I really don't need that much white. Then I'm going to do the turquoise and the sapphire. Actually, probably need to fill these up a little bit. And I'm using the turquoise tint gel. So let me squirt one squirt in there. We're going to stir that up. And then we're going to use the sapphire gel tint. Nice big squirt in there. And we'll mix that up. Get that all mixed up. I've already spilt resin already. Okay, now let's just clean this up a little bit. Now let's do the top cell white. But I'm not blowing the white out today. I'm just gonna more or less paint it in. And I do not need very much of this at all. I think that should be plenty for what I have in here. And we're just going to go like so. I'll put that over to the side. It wants to tip over. Okay, now we're going to mix our sand. So I'm going to put a little bit of resin in here. Then I'm going to start adding my sand. I'm betting you I probably need a bigger cup. And I want this pretty thick. You know what? Actually, I am going to use a bigger cup because I know that's not going to be big enough. So let me just put this in a bigger cup. I'm just going to throw this in here. Okay. I'm going to mix this up. We're going to put some more in. Because I want it to stay where I'm putting it. I also want to add some gold, if I can find it here. Because you know sometimes when you're on the beach and you're looking at the sand, you see little flecks of gold. So I'm just using a very little bit because I don't want it to overwhelm it. I'm going to mix that in there as well. Let's see. I don't know. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more sand. Because I do want this thick. You just want to make sure you get it all covered. Now this will get done in 2 layers. We'll do the first layer, and then in 3 to 5 hours, we'll put the top layer on. All right, let's try this. All right, let me pull this down here. Okay, so we're going to start putting our sand in here. I might need more, but I still got plenty of resin left over. Just like so. If you notice on this mold, it's not backwards. So what you see when you're doing it is going to be the front. Get that in there. And you just put the sand wherever you want it, how high you want it, whatever you want to do. Get that off of my arm. I'm just going to go like so. And I'm just running it along the bottom. Actually, I think that's going to be enough sand. Let me make sure I get it in there. See, it's nice and thick, so it's not going to run, and that's what I'm going for. You don't want your sand to run. Let's put a little bit more in here. And I'm just pushing it where I want it. Okay. I think I want a little bit more in there, so I'm just going to put a little bit more sand in here. just a little bit more of our resin. And a little smidgen of our sparkle. Okay. And we're just going to put that in there. Just want it a little thicker over here. Maybe a little thicker in there. I don't want it all the way up because I want to put a top layer on this, so you don't want it all the way up to the top. You know, kind of going for halfway up, 3/4 in that. That's looking pretty good. Plus I want to put some shells in here. Let's put a little bit more in here. Push that down some. And that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to stop there with that. Okay, let's put our shells in. Okay, we're going to put our shells in next, what we want to put in. So I have a few sitting here. So we're just going to randomly put this in here. Or do I want it here? I think I'm going to put this one in here like so. And I think this one will it fit in there. Yes, it will. We're going to put that in there. And let's put this one down in here, in that corner. And how about this in here, up here, just like so. And so now let's, oh, I gotta get some starfish. Let me grab my starfish. I gotta put a starfish in it. I try to put at least a starfish in every one of the pieces I make. So let's kind of put this up in here like so. We're going to put that there. Okay. Then let's just take some little small pieces and we're just going to drop them here and there. Well, that one went in already. So we're just going to drop some shells in here. Just like so. Maybe another one in there. Maybe a few more little ones right in there. Just a few. Right in here. Just like so. maybe some more in there. And actually, I think what I'll do, okay, that looks good. Okay, so now I got stuff right there. I gotta get that out. Right here, some sand. I want that out. Don't want the sand there. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to take the darker of the blue. And actually, I'm going to put a little bit of the Max White sparkle in that. The Max White. Just a little bit. Because sometimes when you're on the beach and you look at the water, you can see some sparkles. I don't want that much. I just want a little bit. And I'm also going to drop that in the other color. Okay. And it was just a very little bit. I don't want it to overpower it. I just like when you look out at the ocean and sometimes you just see the sun sparkling on it. That's what I'm going for. Okay, so I want to mix this up really well. And we're going to do the dark part first, which is the top. So I'm just going to pour it in there. And if I have to make more, I still have some resin left over. I need my glasses is what I need to put on. I need to put on my glasses. The older I get, the more I need them. Okay, that'd probably be better if they were clean, but yeah, no. So let me put a little bit more in there. And I think I'm working in my shadow. I'm just gonna go in here. You know, I honestly cannot see. What the heck? I see there's no sun out and it's not shiny, you know, the sun ain't shining in here. It's making it hard for me to see. Okay. So let's get some blue up here. And let's take some in here. All right, let me check this out up here. I'm just gonna fill that in there. A little bit more in here. And let's put a little bit more in there. And up in here a little bit more. And that's good. All right, I'm gonna put that aside. All right, and now we're going to, I love this color. Clean up my mess. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit. And then we're going to add the lighter color. Actually, I think I did this backwards. Oh well, it'll be all right. So we're going to go along here. Add that in there. Let's see. Ooh, there's a section where I must have come off the stick. Right there, it is not mixed up. I do not want that. Let's just see if I can get that incorporated a little bit. Okay. And we're just gonna, I'm just gonna let it do its own thing. I gotta get in here a little bit. A little bit more in here. Get some more in here. Okay. So that looks good. I might as well get rid of this little bit of blue up in here. Okay, so I'm done with those. Alrighty. Now let me wipe off all this mess I made on the top. I'm honestly normally not this messy when I'm pouring a mold, but it doesn't matter. I could leave it there. I don't like it. I don't like doing that. That's me. Okay, so we got that taken care of. Now, I want to take my heat gun to it. Make sure I get the bubbles out. I don't want to use a torch on my molds because it can ruin the mold. Now that's good enough for that. Now I want to add the white just along. So it's not going to take that much, but I want to check and make sure I don't have any more bubbles. I will spray this with the alcohol. I use 99%. So I'm just going to take my toothpick along the edge to make sure there's no bubbles along the edge. I mean, this is an ocean piece. A little bubble here and there is not going to ruin your project. And I meant a little. I'm not saying, you know, let the whole thing fill up with bubbles. Well, you don't want that. All right. Just run it along just to make sure you don't have any bubbles hidden in there. Okay, so now I'm going to take a toothpick and I'm going to just more or less paint in some waves. So I'm just going to use a toothpick and I'm just going to, like I said, I'm not blowing these. That's not what I want to do with this. You know, do what looks good to you. I'll just make it look like there's little water coming in there. Or wave action is what I want to say. Excuse me. And we're going going to go in here. Oop, didn't want that much. Okay. Just like so. A little bit over here. I'm just going to put a few swirls in it. This might not look like it after it sits a while, but because resin does what resin wants to do, I'm just going to put little swirls in here. A bit more in here. Maybe just a little bit more in here. And I think I'm just going to leave that as is. And then your top layer will be all clear. So I will come back in 3 to 5 hours and we'll put the top coat on here, and that will sit overnight, and then we will demold it tomorrow. So let me just spray it with the alcohol. Just like so. And that's it for this. I'll see you in 3 to 5 hours to do the top coat. Okay, it's been almost 6 hours, not quite. So I'm going to pour the top layer, which will be clear. So there's something there I don't want on the side there. So we're just going to pour this, and I've already mixed my resin. Actually, I'm going to get a smaller cup so I don't spill it all over the place to get it started. There we go. Okay. So I'm just gonna start pouring it in there. And we're just gonna cover this all up. Pour some more in here. It's just easier pouring with the paper cup than this larger plastic cup. So we're just gonna pinch it in there. Because I want to get, I'm hoping I have, well, there should be enough resin here. I kind of poured extra because I had another project I wanted to get done, but we'll see. I might have to use it all. Let's see. I can pour from the cup now. So let's just pour in here. Actually, I might have to use everything I got here. I'm glad I did make extra for the project, or I would have had to pour another coat. And this is a freestanding sign. So once we demold it tomorrow, it'll stand straight up. Yeah, I just want to see if that one, yeah. I was a little concerned about this one shell over here, but I think it's covered. I'm going to add a little bit more in here. Use up what I got. Well, there isn't any extra from my extra project I had in mind, so I guess I'll have to mix up some more. But again, I'm glad. I thought I was only going to need 5 ounces to finish this off. I actually needed 8. That's a big difference than what I calculated, but sometimes that happens. But it's definitely, all the shells are under the resin. And that's what I want to make sure. I didn't want any pieces sticking out. But even if you had a little piece sticking out, you know, it probably would have been okay. Alrighty. I'm going to take the heat gun to this a little bit and then spritz it. Let me grab my heat gun. That looks good. I'm just going to check around the edge. Make sure I don't have any bubbles. I got to remember I can't go down too far. I think that's good. I'm just going to spray it with the alcohol. Cover it up. And we will demold this tomorrow. I think this is going to be really pretty. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. If you like what you're watching, could you please hit the like button? If you'd like to see more of what I do, please hit that little turtle on the bottom right-hand side of your video to subscribe. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Bye.